You're eating healthy, you're working out, you might even be tracking your macros, but you're still not seeing results on the scale or in your clothes. If you're a woman over 40 and you're feeling stuck, I wanted to share with you today some trends that I keep seeing in my nutrition practice with women who have been trying to lose weight. They're doing all the right things, but nothing is working. There are three things in particular that are working against you likely that are not talked about nearly enough. And that's what we're going to get into today in this episode. So, welcome back to the YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Vargas. I'm a functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner, as well as a metabolic health specialist. And all that really means is I take a root cause focused approach. I look at things like the soil versus the symptoms or the branches and make sure that we are optimizing the body at a foundational level and making sure the body can operate as it should. We want the body to be functional because weight loss really or weight issues are really just another symptom like heartburn or GERD or hair loss. Weight gain, weight loss challenges is really just a sign that the body is not optimized. There's something not functioning well. And today I'm going to talk about three really popular areas that are being overlooked by women, by women's doctors, and honestly by the internet when it comes to how to lose weight, how to get in shape, how to feel good, especially in our perimenopause, menopausal years. So, really, at the end of the day, these three things are not the end all be all, but these are probably the most popular and areas that I feel you should be checking off the box if you feel like you're eating healthy, you're moving your body, you're getting in your daily steps, and the scale is not budging and your clothes are still not fitting as you expected. So let's get into the material. I'm going to pop over and open up a presentation. So, first and foremost, number one thing that I'm seeing is blood sugar dysregulation. Now, you do not have to be a diabetic in order to have blood sugar issues. That 3 p.m. crash, waking up wired at 2 a.m., that monkey brain, or the constant cravings, those are all signs that you're having blood sugar issues. And unfortunately, most of the time when we're getting our labs ran, our doctors are missing this critical signal. Because remember, doctors are likely looking for diagnoses. They're looking to make sure that you don't have diabetes for sure, or even pre-diabetes. Although I definitely have worked with women that are clearly pre-diabetic based on their lab results, based on their symptoms, but their doctors have never mentioned anything to them. I'm not here to diagnose anybody, but I definitely will have these conversations with women like you should talk to your doctor. Here's why. So, blood sugar dysregulation, blood sugar instability. Why is this happening? Well, number one, if you're feeling it, first and foremost, regardless of the labs, you may be feeling it. Fatigued all day, maybe hangry if you go too long between meals, 3 p.m. crash, like I talked about, hard to wake up in the morning or waking up in the middle of the night feeling super wired. Belly fat, especially around the abdomen, hips, and thighs, that just won't quit. These are often signals of blood sugar instability. And then when we look a little bit deeper and do a lab panel, which I run on every brand new client in my practice, a full comprehensive lab panel, we often see missed results on conventional lab results. Okay, missed insufficiencies or markers that are out of functional range. And I talk a lot about functional markers all over my YouTube channel, all over my Instagram. There's plenty of education there. I also have an essential lab guide for women that you can download in the show notes. I am all about the labs, but I don't go off the labs only when I'm working with recommendations for my clients. But it is an incredible tool that I think everybody should be doing, taking their labs, getting their labs ran, and often, because we want to see the trends that are happening in our health. So in conventional labs, most doctors are running the bare minimum. Maybe your fasting glucose, and maybe if you're lucky, your HbA1c. For these two markers, even for me, they were still in pathological range. It wasn't until I ran my insulin marker is when I recognized that my body was having a very hard time with metabolizing carbohydrates. And it wasn't that I was eating sugar or cupcakes or cookies. It was that my body wasn't able to metabolize those foods for various reasons. So, missed unconventional lab results is something that likely is happening for you. Under consuming nutrients could happen as well, having blood sugar drop too low. Macro imbalances and or low energy output could just be you're not eating the proper macronutrient ratio for what your body needs, or low energy output means that energy balance, the food that's coming in versus the output you are putting out. Maybe you're sitting at your desk all day, maybe you're in traffic, maybe you have a long commute, but you're still eating foods that you would need for physical performance, but you're really not doing any physical performance other than sitting or walking around the office or driving. Okay. For food, timing is an issue too. I see often in my practice. Again, this could just be waiting until 11 o'clock to eat, again, because you're not hungry. And there's a reason why you might not be hungry. Again, these are all signs of insufficiency in the body. It could be that you are stretching your meals too long, waiting too long to eat. It could be that you aren't eating all morning long and all your meals get pushed to the evening, which is going to disrupt blood sugar dysregulation while you're sleeping. And then, of course, wrong food choices for your body. And this is what was happening for me. I was eating an anti inflammatory whole food diet and still having insulin resistance, still having issues with controlling my blood sugar, eating chicken, broccoli, rice type meals. So, blood sugar instability is something that is highly overlooked. I mean, the statistics are out there. You can Google them. 88% of the population is pre-diabetic, and most of them don't know about it. Okay. Um, and that's the scary part is we chalk being tired or the 3 o'clock crash when you need a coffee or some sugar. We chalk it up to being kind of normal. We've kind of socialized it as like, oh, let's all go get a coffee together, or let me go over to the micro kitchen at my office and down some granola bars, but because there's nuts in them, it's okay. We've normalized this behavior, but in reality, you should be able to go long stretches without food and feel energetic, and your mind should be clear. You shouldn't get hangry, right? You shouldn't need snacks between meals. Again, we've just normalized this behavior. And the unfortunate thing is, insulin, your main blood sugar hormone, is a fat storing hormone. Okay. Its job is to shuttle excess glucose, whether it be from carbs, proteins, or fats. Yes, all macronutrients do eventually convert to sugar in the body. Its job is to shuttle that energy into the cells, into the muscle, into whatever's left over, the liver and fat cells. Okay. And so when insulin is dysregulated, and it's going to be dysregulated for most people, especially over 40, especially if you've had kids, infections, traumas, the body's inflamed, right? The environment and all the toxic shit that's going around us, both emotionally and environmentally. All of that's going to have an impact on your body and aging. As we age, we start to break down, our systems start to get less efficient, but we're not doing our systems any favors with the way we live conventionally. So blood sugar instability is a big one. You can check your lab markers by downloading the essential lab marker in the show notes below. It's just a guide, a PDF that you can download. Um, and that can be really helpful to see for you if blood sugar instability is truly at play. I would put money that it likely is to a varying degree. Next on the list is thyroid. Okay. Thyroid imbalances are, I would say every woman over 40 has a deficient thyroid. I would put money on it. And again, this has to do with just what we've done up until this point. Most of us have likely had children or have dealt with some big shit in our lives, right? That have put strain on the body. With women in particular, we are seeing a lot of missed early warning signs on lab work, autoimmune conditions, low thyroid. The average of our healthy thyroid markers have come down, right? Because human population, we're under physical attack and emotional and spiritual attack all the time now, which is everything, right? Like you could be watching this video at any point in the lifespan of me having it up on YouTube, but currently right now there's a lot of stuff going on in California that can throw off your stress management practices because maybe you're an empath, maybe you really care about what's happening in the world and you feel like you are, unable to help what's going on, or maybe you have children and your children are watching what's happening in the world and asking you questions and you feel hopeless, right? And helpless. And so, in general, um, we, especially at 40 and up, we are dealing with a lot, good and bad, right? We have careers, we maybe have children, we maybe have aging parents, maybe we own businesses, we have full lives, a lot of good stuff, maybe, and not a lot of good stuff, right? And a combination of both. And we're trying to navigate all this. This all puts stress on the body, and it's going to put stress on your thyroid. Why the thyroid imbalances matter for weight loss? Because it's your master of metabolism. Okay. Your insulin is your master fat switch. Your thyroid is your master of metabolism, of repair, of growth, of burning fat. Okay. So when your thyroid is low, your thermostat is low, the furnace is dim. It's not going to burn as efficiently as it would if it was optimal. And this could be for many reasons, as what I mentioned. It could also be for more tactical reasons, like low nutrients needed for thyroid conversion. Those can be selenium, zinc, iodine. There's a lot of different nutrients out there. Those are the three that come to mind. In my mind, iron's another one. And that could be because of a diet just low in those nutrients. Maybe you're a creature of habit, and you're always eating the same thing over and over and over again because you're just trying to survive your week. And I get it. I fall into that category often as well. Maybe you have compromised digestion. Maybe you have compromised gut health. Your intestinal health is leaky. Maybe you have a clogged up liver for various reasons. Maybe you have toxin overload. Maybe you have an autoimmune condition. Oh, autoimmune spelled wrong. Or maybe your T4 to T3 conversion is having some trouble. Your T3 is your usable thyroid hormone. And again, for various reasons, I could go on and on in this episode about thyroid health, but I have other episodes that you can dive into that go specifically into the thyroid. And then unmanaged stress is another one. Okay, unmanaged stress. And I'm going to get into in the third and final area that's working against weight loss. Okay. It doesn't matter at the end of the day how healthy you eat, or that you think you're eating, how much you work out. If your thyroid or your blood sugar balance is not intact, if your thyroid health is not optimized, it's going to feel like you're pushing a ball up a hill. You might not gain weight. Maybe you're maintaining at a weight you don't really love, but you're not gaining because you're doing all the things, but you're sure as shit gonna have a really hard time losing excess weight. So it's important that these two areas are considered and optimized if you are struggling, if you are having a really hard time. Okay. And the third and final would be um, lack of boundaries. Okay. Lack of boundaries with self, lack of boundaries with others, and lack of boundaries with time. And I like to break it up into those three to really help people understand which bucket do they fall into the most, or maybe there's a combination of buckets. And why lack of boundaries is a problem is because a lot of us women are operating in a fight or flight, fried, frozen, overextended model. Um, and if your nervous system is in the sympathetic, overextended, fried, overstimulated bucket, your body will not allow for healing. And that means it will not release the weight. Okay. It won't. It's just how things work. And it all gets weaved into the physical body. An overstimulated nervous system is going to mess with your blood sugar. Okay. So think insulin. Insulin's going to run rampant. An overstimulated nervous system is going to affect your digestive health. It's going to increase the chances of having leaky gut. It's going to increase the chances of a microbiome diversity issue. It's going to increase the chances of you not being able to digest your food, which is going to put strain on the thyroid as well. Lack of nutrients. Maybe you're eating the nutrients, but you're just not breaking them down. Stress in and of itself, overstimulated nervous system is a fight or flight situation that is like a life or death situation in the body, which is going to put strain on the thyroid itself. It's going to have your body is busy trying to stay alive because you're in this perpetual fight or flight. Um, you're gonna have issues with thyroid production, thyroid conversion because it's too busy trying to keep you alive, right? So you can see kind of like how all these three things kind of work together. So lack of boundaries with self is a never-ending to-do list. I'm so busy. I hear this all the time. Jess, I couldn't figure this out because I was just too busy. I had to volunteer for this, or I had to help my daughter with homework, or I had to drive the kids around to soccer. Guess what? I get it, but I'm also a mom. I run a business. I have a full-time career in a different industry. Um, my kids are in sports too. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I have figured it out enough to be able to support my body. And it's give and take. Some weeks are crazier than other weeks, but I have a list of non negotiables that I have created for myself and that I help my clients create for themselves. The I'm so busy, the never ending to do list, this is a boundary, a lack there of boundary you have with yourself. Undernourishment of spirit. This kind of goes hand in hand. You're overdoing it. You're constantly busy. You're signing up for things when you already know you don't have the ability to meet those goals. And then you're undernourishing your spirit. You're not giving a nice balance or keeping a rhythm of being pouring back into yourself and always pouring into others, your job, your kids, your community, your girlfriends, your children's school, or whatever it is. I hear this a lot. Oh, when summer hits, things will get less crazy. Or I'm not going to have time to do that because I have all these trips planned. Again, who planned those trips? Likely you, right? So we have to start looking within and taking personal responsibility for our busyness, our never ending to do list, lack of boundaries with others, over giving, people pleasing, over committing, extending too much, saying yes too often. You know where I'm going with this. Lack of boundaries with time, over scheduled goes with kind of the above, or checked out because you're in this fight or flight, freeze, frozen mode because you're just so taxed. You're procrastinating probably a lot more than you think. You're zoning out. You're scrolling on social media. You're binge watching Netflix night after night. You're doing things that are eating up time, not because you're lazy, but because you are so checked out of the life right now because you have undernourished yourself physically and probably emotionally and spiritually. Okay. So these three things are the things that I see the most in my practice with women, um, especially in their 40s, and why I find that even with the best of intentions, they're not able to they're able to maybe lose some weight, but they're not able to continue the progress. They're not able to continue seeing the fruits of their efforts. And it's because there's some physiological issues that they haven't addressed, like thyroid imbalances, blood sugar imbalances. By the way, these are all things that I help my women work on in my practice. Okay. We put together manageable steps to make it a lifestyle. This is not a diet approach. I don't just throw a bunch of supplements either. I firmly believe in food first. Food is healing. But sometimes we do need a little help supplementally or even medicinally. Um, and then, of course, the lack of boundaries. So you have the physiological issues that might be holding you back that you have thought, I've been to the doctor, they say I'm fine. Doctors aren't looking at functional or optimal. They're looking at pathological. Do you have this disease? You don't? Okay, check. We'll wait and see. And then there's the more psycho, the emotional, spiritual side of healing, of health. that isn't being attended to, lack of boundaries with that self, with the others, with time, overstimulated nervous system. And this can feel like, oh my God, there's so much I have to do. That is also part of the issue is catastrophizing, catastrophizing what it takes to get healthy. It really it doesn't take you to do everything. Okay, what matters is to do what matters most for your body. If you open up social media, if you open up the internet, you'll know that everyone is eating a certain way, taking a daily walk, getting outside, red light therapy, sauna therapy, vibrational plates, whatever, like all of the gimmicks, all of the supplements, all of the things that you have to do in order to be healthy. Um, it's that mentality and energy that makes you think that you're failing, that makes you think it's complex. The problem is you see like a snapshot on the internet of people's lives and influencers' lives. You don't actually know if they're doing all those things every single day, consistently all the time. Likely they're not unless they don't have children and it's they're getting paid to do it. Wouldn't that be nice? Um, to get paid to do it. I love my children. Um, so really what it takes is to focus on the things that matters most for your body. And this is what we discover in the RCRP or the root cause review protocol. I run labs. We do an entire health intake because you might have PCOS or Hashimoto's, or you might have a hard time losing weight. But the reasons why you have a hard time losing weight is going to be likely different from your best friend or the long distant cousin that you have, right? So it matters. Your health history matters. Your lab makeup matters. The way your symptoms are presenting matters actually the most in terms of what steps that you and I would put together for you to start seeing results that are sustainable, that are repeatable, that you feel calm and comfortable with. And it takes the confusion, the chaos, the guesswork. You get to put your blinders on and really hone in on what matters most for your body. And that, in and of itself, helps drop the nervous system stimulation. You have a plan, you have a path, you're comfortable with it, it meets you where you're at, it meshes well with your lifestyle, with your values, with your likes and dislikes. And if you have the ability to invest in the support like this, it's a complete game changer for not just your waistline, not just for your curves, but for your longevity, for your health long term. Um, and this is exactly what I practice as a human being on this planet, trying to not only look and feel my best, but to have longevity and avoid disease and the big C and everything else that seems very scary out there. So, if you are interested in learning more about the root cause review protocol, you can find me at my email address below. Reach out, ask questions. You can schedule a consultation with me. And or you can find me on Instagram at Be Body Empowered. Send me a message there, and let me know what you're thinking. I hope this was helpful for you. Just as a quick recap, those three areas I want you to start thinking about more is blood sugar stability, thyroid balance, and boundaries in your relationship with those boundaries. And if you need a little bit more support, the Essential Lab Guide can be found at the show notes below to give you some context around the labs if you do get them ran and you want to see what the functional ranges are. I hope this video was very informative for you, gave you some food for thought. Maybe you have some things to go and check. And again, if you're looking for additional support, you're tired of going the road alone, please reach out and let me know you're curious about learning more on the root cause review protocol. Have an amazing day. See ya.